So, how do you know when a challenge that you're facing is an actual problem that needs fixing or if it's just part of the process? So, this is something that I've been thinking about lately because we launched our ESA program, our signature program, about a week ago. And a big part of this program is that the students need to submit daily videos of themselves speaking in English. So, expressing their thoughts in English and talk about things that are relevant to their end goal. And the reason for this is because fluency is not just about, it's not just about submitting a video and being graded for it, but it's actually about building the habit of expressing your thoughts, of thinking and speaking in English right at your foot, or like whether it's spontaneously or if it's scripted. But, anyways, this is something that I have been thinking about lately because, of course, when the students submit their videos, I would always encourage them, if you need feedback, tag us. But then we've been tagged in every single video. And then I noticed something interesting. I noticed that there are two kinds of challenges. I call them problem challenge or process challenge. And what is the difference between those two? So basically, a problem challenge is if you don't fix it, it's actually going to stop you from reaching your goal. Whereas a process challenge is something that would fix itself with enough time, practice, and repetition. And why is it important for you to know the difference between the two? Well, the quick answer is that so that you know what to do next. And this principle does not only apply in learning English, but also in other skills that you're trying to learn in your life. When is something an actual problem and when is it just part of the process? So you want to think of process challenge as like a little speed bump on the road. It's like something that is annoying, something small, something that would slow you down. However, with enough persistence and patience, you are still going to reach your destination. Whereas a problem challenge is more of like a barrier. If you don't remove the barrier, you actually cannot reach your goal. You cannot reach your destination. Either you need to remove it or you find a different road, a different strategy, right, to get to your goal. And this is something that I really relate to every single day because I live in Bali and there's a lot of roads, little roads here with a lot of speed bumps, and it's very annoying. Like these speed bumps are very annoying, but eventually I still get to where I need to be. Whereas a barrier, when they completely close the road, if they don't remove it, you cannot get there. You have to find an alternative road. But anyways, back to learning English. The mistake that I see a lot of people do on social media and just on my DMs, on my comments, is that people keep on pushing through when they've hit a barrier. People keep on practicing doing the same thing over and over again, even though that problem actually needs some redirection, some fixing. Like, people keep on practicing and learning new words, even though the actual barrier is not so much about not knowing enough words, but actually thinking about how you can use the words that you already know. How do you actually remove the mental block so that you can use words that you have learned before? It's more about the processing that needs fixing. So the real barrier is actually the thinking habits that prevent them from using the words they already know. And this is really the most misdiagnosed problem that I hear from so many people. So for example, one of my students, Ida, she submits daily videos, and in the video she would always make these mistakes of like, oh, I should have used this instead of that. Oh, I should have used this word so that my idea is delivered a lot more smoothly. So this is actually just speed bumps. It's like in order for her to make these new words more natural for her, she has to keep making these small mistakes because eventually she's just going to get used to it. But a barrier would be if someone stops themselves from recording because they truly believe that their English is not good enough, they hate their voice, or because they just hate the process of recording. And this is an actual barrier because it's actually going to stop you from progressing. Or another barrier would be always learning new words, but not really knowing how to turn those passive vocabulary into active one by engaging in real conversations or recording yourself using your camera. A barrier could be mental, it could be technical, it could also be strategic. So this is why it's important for you to identify if the problem you're facing actually needs fixing or it just needs a little bit of practice. And for you to remove that barrier, to really fix that real problem, you either need a second opinion from an expert, or you really need to have very good self-awareness, or even watching a lot of YouTube videos, but then that's a bit of a longer process to really identify your problem. But you really need a lot of self-awareness if you want to take on that route. So now, so yeah, again, barriers need correction and bumps need repetition. So Tria, for your last video, what you need is to just repeat more often, and then it's gonna solve by itself. So when you're doing this coming week, when you're doing your vlog and log, always think to yourself, okay, is this a bump or is this a barrier? Is this part of the process or the problem? Okay. So tell me, if you're facing a challenge right now, do you think the challenge that you're facing is an actual problem or is it just part of the process? So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope I give you something to think about. See you next time in another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.